Last year, I made a video saying I stopped steroids. And I had, as of 3 months ago, relapsed and gone back on a full steroid cycle. Now, the reason why I stopped in the first place, for those who didn't watch the video, is to stop compromising my health, to ensure that I can have a happy, healthy marriage with my wife, and to focus more on my business, being PR and now the gym. I faced several challenges with my company, PR, that led me to go into panic mode and make a decision to pursue bodybuilding in an attempt to bring more eyeballs on what I'm doing, and in turn help my brand get back to where it was and even better. Now, that is a massive mistake. That is not what I should have done to build my brand. I know how to do that. And that was a coward approach because I was scared to venture into the mindset of a businessman and abandon what I know best, which is creating content and generating sales based on what I'm doing as an individual, and not what I can do for the brand as taking a different approach with my content and focusing more on product development and marketing the products, not marketing myself as an individual. So me choosing to get back into bodybuilding was not from a place of passion, because since I started training, bodybuilding was never a passion of mine. Not bodybuilding on a competitive level, at least. It was the training that got me into fitness. I loved lifting heavy. I love hitting PRs. I like watching my physique change, but I've never been interested in posing or in trying to become the next Mr. Olympia, whether I had the potential to or not. So this decision to get into bodybuilding was coming from the wrong place. It was coming from a place of desperation, of let me get on stage, let me win my pro card, and that will put eyeballs on me, what I'm doing, on my brand, and that will help me build my business. But that is the wrong approach. Again, that's a coward approach. That is me being afraid to not be Larry Wheels anymore and now be Larry Williams and focus on marketing my brand and my products. But I'm going to dive in the deep end, and I'm pulling out of this competition I said I would do. I don't want to get my pro card. I don't want to pursue being a competitive athlete anymore because it's a distraction from what I want out of my life moving to my 30s. I'm now 29 years old, and my aspirations and ambitions have changed dramatically from when I first came on the scene in social media. I have more responsibilities now. I have a wife, a serious commitment to her. And I want to make sure that we have a happy and financially secure future. And me hopping back on steroids is going against everything I said I would do. It's compromising my health, my integrity, because now I'm going against my own word. It's compromising my trust and with you, the fans that are watching my content. It's compromising my future and most importantly, my business. Because when I'm focused on being a competitive athlete, it's taking away from energy and time that I could be putting into my business, which is going to give me dramatically more in return than me stepping on stage as a bodybuilder, or me breaking another world record as a powerlifter, or me trying to become the #1 arm wrestler in the world, or trying to become the world's strongest man. In my early and mid-20s, those were aspirations of mine. But living a life as a competitive athlete, I know firsthand from experience, is a very recluse and isolated lifestyle, especially as a bodybuilder, which is why I never was able to commit to being one. Being a competitive bodybuilder, even at the amateur level, trying to go pro, let alone as a pro level, at the pro level, trying to become next Mr. Olympia, is a very restrictive lifestyle. And my hat goes off to those that are able to keep a healthy relationship and build their business and live and manage a successful career while being a competitive professional bodybuilder. Because for me, when I am on the kitchen sink as a cycle, Trend, Cleanse, T3, Anavar, this, that, everything I can get my hands on in efforts to become pro and be a competitive bodybuilder, it changes me, it changes who I am. And when I'm malnourished, I'm eating 1,000 calories a day, I'm on no carbs, I'm not sleeping because of the drugs I'm taking, I'm irritable, right? I can't go out and enjoy my life with my wife or really do anything beyond train and sleep and eat, which was okay before I was married. I've had partners, I've had girlfriends, and they come and go. And if they weren't willing to support my lifestyle, for me, that was fine. I was selfish. I was saying, hey, listen, if you don't want to live this life with me, then you can go kick rocks. But most of them tolerated it and it wasn't an issue. But for the level of commitment I have to my wife, it's betrayal to her. She didn't marry a bodybuilder. I wasn't a bodybuilder when she met me. And I don't even like myself when I'm deep in prep as a bodybuilder because of the reasons I mentioned. I'm irritable. I'm not sleeping. I'm hungry all the time. I'm frustrated when people around me are enjoying food and enjoying their life. I just feel like I'm a Debbie Downer. I'm bringing down the people around me. I don't want to be that person. And again, I tip my hat to those that are able to live that life all the time and not compromise their relationships and not compromise their business. I personally cannot do it. And it frustrates me to say that. It's not for me. It's too hard for me. I cannot apply myself and commit to that lifestyle. And I believe it's because of the lack of passion and the reason why I got into it in the first place. The reason why I set my goals on bodybuilding in the first place. It was from a place of, well, can I get more famous doing it? Can I earn more money doing it? And I thought, yes. And attempting to become one of the best in the world, with that being my aspiration, with that being my motivation, my driving force, is the very first and biggest mistake. If it was coming from a place of, I love bodybuilding and I would be willing to die for the sport and I don't need to collect a check from it. I don't need to get a pat on the back for doing it. I don't need to try and become more famous or grow my business or grow my platform. It's not important. I just love the sport. I love the lifestyle. That's different. And the ones that truly enjoy it and they don't expect anything in return from it are the ones that rise to the top. And I'm speaking from experience because I know when I was a powerlifter, as a late teen, in my early 20s, I did powerlifting because I enjoyed it and I didn't have any aspirations to make a living from it. It wasn't till years later that I decided to monetize it because my coach and the people around me realized I had the opportunity to. But it was never the driving force. I didn't care if it made me famous or if I earned money from it. That's not what got me into it. That's not why I continue to do it. And it was that passion of, I'm willing to die for this sport because it brings me so much joy that money and fame is just the icing on top. It's not the meat and potatoes. Now, I publicly made an announcement a couple days ago on my Instagram saying I'm going to do a show in Ireland. I'm not doing that show. I'm not committing to it. I'm not following through with it. I don't want that lifestyle for me or for my wife. I don't want to do USAs. It's not for me. My motivation to do it is wrong. And does that make me a quitter? I believe yes. I am quitting. I'm not following through. And I believe it's for the better. It's for the better good of my relationship and more importantly for my business. I have a patented belt that I'm releasing later this year and I haven't spoken about it once. And I started developing it early last year because I'm so caught up in trying to be a competitive bodybuilder. It really detracts from my aspirations and the reason I said I would stop service in the first place. Going on TRT was the best decision I've made in a very long time. I felt great. I looked great. And for a short period, I really was having tunnel vision on my business and my relationship in creating a more sustainable and better life for myself and my wife. And I'm going back to that mindset. And even better, I'm going cold turkey on being a competitive athlete. I believe my purpose here is to motivate people to get in the gym, to find the version of fitness that suits them best. Because for me, it never was just one avenue of fitness. For me, I truly enjoy seeing what my body is capable of. And I encourage those watching to do the same. I enjoyed powerlifting for a time. I enjoyed arm wrestling for a time. I enjoyed bodybuilding for a time to an extent. And I stop enjoying it when it gets too extreme. Let's not forget, I also enjoy strongman for a time. But once I've made enough progress to where I feel like I'm approaching a professional level, that's where it stops being fun. Now it's tremendous compromise and sacrifice for arguably not enough reward. And for me, again, in my late teens, early 20s, as a power lifter, the only reward I needed was hitting a PR. But entering my 30s, my aspirations and my responsibility has changed dramatically. And now I create content to keep me motivated and finding more diamonds in the rough, like Andrew Jacked, like Rubiel. That is extremely fulfilling for me. The ability to be able to use my platform to bring others up, to bring eyeballs on people that haven't ever had that opportunity to realize their value, and for the world to see that, hey, there's something extraordinary over here. That is what brings me the most satisfaction in the world right now. I hope I have the privilege to find another Andrew Jacked and another Rubiel. I hope I can be the person that can be the guiding light and be able to give them a platform to prosper off of, right? I want to be in that position, right? I want to take on that mentor role, and I want to be able to help those diamonds in the rough get the deserved attention and opportunity. And this is a very hard video to make because I've never once, despite me competing in 4 different disciplines, strongman, bodybuilding, powerlifting, arm wrestling, I've never once pulled out of a competition because I decided it was too challenging and not for me. Even if I knew the prep wasn't going well, or I made mistakes in the prep, like going off program or not eating or not following my nutrition plan. Basically, even if I knew that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing to 100% in the prep, I still followed through and showed up, knowing that I had left things on the table that should have been done, knowing that I'm not going to take first place because of me, because I've made mistakes during prep, because I wasn't fully committed, because I didn't really 100% apply myself. This is the only time I've ever done that, and it's because I'm so against this lifestyle. It's just not for me. And I am never, ever going to pursue my pro card again. I'm not going to say, yeah, maybe I can step on the Olympia stage, because I'm never going to be able to apply myself to that extent. The passion isn't there for me to be able to handle, to tolerate the sacrifice you need to get there. And the 1,000-pound deadlift would require me to hop on more gear and eat more food and be bigger than I've ever been before, which undoubtedly is the most unhealthy thing I can imagine right now. And I am not doing that. It's not worth the reward. I am very content with my achievements in the strength world. I'm happy with how far I've gotten on the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, dumbbell, this, that. I've done many feats of strength, and I'm content with my progress in them. And now I'm ready for the next phase of my life. For anyone that feels let down or like I betrayed you, I apologize. But this decision is the best for me, for my wife, for my future. With that said, thank you so much for watching and for your patience. And I'll see you soon in the next one.